Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to whiteboard our way through Napoleon Hill's classic wealth building principles to see exactly how they hold up in today's digital economy. I mean, if you're trying to build income and level up your skills in the modern world, you've probably stumbled across a million different gurus. But today, we're going straight back to the source. We're looking at a blueprint published nearly a century ago that is honestly still shockingly relevant. So let's just tackle the elephant in the room right off the bat. Can a book from 1937 really give us actionable, practical strategies for financial and personal success today? It's a completely fair question. Obviously, the world has totally transformed since then. But as we unpack this, you're going to see that while our tools and technologies are entirely different, human psychology, behavioral science, and the actual mechanics of success, they haven't changed one bit. Hill writes that when riches begin to come, they come so quickly in such great abundance that one wonders where they have been hiding during all those lean years. Wow, right? That is a remarkably bold claim. It completely flips our default assumption that wealth only ever comes from grueling, endless, backbreaking labor. Instead, he suggests that riches actually begin with a very specific state of mind and a definiteness of purpose. They respond to definite principles, not just random luck or sheer sweat. To figure out how to engineer that exact state of mind, we're going to break down the 5 core pillars of success, from the text Burning Desire, Specialized Knowledge, Organized Planning, Persistence, and the Mastermind Alliance. Let's kick things off with pillar number 1, Burning Desire. This is your internal catalyst. Everything has to start here, because without that internal catalyst, there is absolutely zero motivation to take action. Now, Hill is super clear that all achievement begins with an intense, burning desire for something definite, and there's a massive difference between kind of wanting something and actually desiring it. Wishful thinking is passive. It just focuses on what you don't have, which honestly just leaves you frustrated. But a burning desire, that focuses on the presence, the addition of something. It's a literal obsession. And when a desire becomes a white-hot obsession, it starts producing automatic, continuous action. But Hill didn't just leave this as some fluffy, abstract concept. He gave us 6 incredibly practical steps to transmute that desire into real-world results. First, fix the exact amount in your mind. And no, plenty of money does not count. Second, determine exactly what you'll give in return, because there's no such thing as something for nothing. Third, set a hard date. Fourth, create a definite plan. Fifth, write out a totally clear, concise statement of all this. And sixth, read that written statement out loud twice a day. You basically have to convince yourself it's already a done deal. But desire is really just the engine. To get anywhere, you need fuel.
Which brings us to pillar number 2, specialized knowledge, your mental fuel.
In our current era, we literally hold the entire world's general knowledge in our pockets, available in seconds. Because of that, going an inch deep in 50 different domains is essentially worthless. Going a mile deep in one specific domain, acquiring specialized knowledge, and then organizing it into a definite plan, that is always going to outperform someone who just knows miscellaneous general facts. You see, knowledge is only potential power. It only becomes actual power when you intelligently direct it. And this should honestly be a huge relief if you ever feel held back by a lack of formal education. Specialized knowledge has nothing to do with fancy degrees. Think about Thomas Edison. He had maybe 3 months of formal schooling his entire life. Henry Ford didn't even make it past the 6th grade. Yet, they built absolute empires because they mastered the exact specific knowledge they needed, and they knew exactly how to organize it. Next up is pillar number 3, organized planning. This is your action framework. Okay, so we have the desire, we have the knowledge. Now we need a bridge to connect those internal goals to actual physical results in the real world. This is where imagination crystallizes into reality. And what's super fascinating here is that modern behavioral science totally backs up what Hill was saying in 1937. Today, we call this implementation science. It's the study of how people actually convert their intentions into behavior. And decades of research confirm that specificity, planned action, and structural accountability will dramatically increase your follow-through. Wishing doesn't work, systems do. To actually build these flawless plans, Hill laid out strict rules for coordinating with others. Why? Because no single person has enough experience, education, or native ability to build a massive fortune completely solo. It just doesn't happen. You have to form an alliance. You need to decide what benefits you bring to the other members, meet with them at least twice a week, and, this is crucial, maintain absolute perfect harmony. If there's no harmony, the plan falls apart. But here's a reality check for you. No matter how airtight your organized planning is, you are going to face temporary defeat. It happens to literally everyone. When your plans hit a wall, you have to accept it as a signal that the plan wasn't sound, rebuild it, and just set sail again. Hill loved this simple, powerful phrase and suggested keeping it front and center in your mind. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. So how exactly do you keep going when things get tough?
That perfectly tees up pillar number 4, persistence, the resilience engine.
Hill uses this totally incredible analogy for this. If you've ever had sleep paralysis, that nightmare where you're half awake but you literally cannot move, you know how terrifying it is. To break out of it, you have to use a persistent effort of willpower just to wiggle one finger, then maybe an arm, then a leg, until you finally just snap out of it with one supreme effort. Persistence in wealth building is exactly like that. It's a sustained, step-by-step effort of will to snap yourself out of mental inertia.
Now, cultivating this habit doesn't just happen by accident. You aren't just born with it. You need 4 distinct things: a definite purpose backed by that burning desire we talked about, a definite plan expressed in continuous action, a mind completely closed off to negative influences, and yes, that includes well-meaning friends and family, and finally, a friendly alliance to keep you encouraged. Get these 4 things right, and they become your ultimate insurance policy against failure. Finally, we reach pillar number 5, the mastermind alliance. This is your external multiplier.
We touched on alliances earlier, but this is the real secret weapon that supercharges everything else. Hill defined the mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort between 2 or more people. But he took it to an almost spiritual level. He literally believed that when people function in perfect harmony toward a goal, a separate, invisible, third mind is created in the room, and the energy of that third mind becomes available to every single person in the group.
Now, translating this to 2026, we don't necessarily have to view it as some mystical third mind. Modern social science proves the exact same thing happens. We know for a fact that who you spend your time with fundamentally dictates your accountability, shapes your everyday norms, and completely shifts your reality of what's possible. Peer influence is literally one of the most robustly documented psychological phenomena we have. So the big takeaway here is that whether you want to call it a 1920s mastermind or a 2026 accountability infrastructure, whether you call it organized planning or modern implementation science, the core principles for turning a desire into physical wealth are completely timeless. The underlying mechanics of human achievement, they just don't age. If you're finding this explainer valuable and you want to keep mastering these mechanics of success, make sure to hit subscribe to the Edge Library. We're going to keep whiteboarding out the absolute greatest insights from the world's most timeless books, so you can apply them directly to your life right now. I want to leave you with something to really think about. You've seen the blueprint. You know the formula that has literally built empires over the last 100 years. But all that specialized knowledge and all those organized plans mean absolutely zero without that internal catalyst. The roadmap is right here, but only you can spark the burning desire to take that first step. So, what are you going to do next?